Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, a website designer and business coach for entrepreneurs and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want a deep dive into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a successful business and stand out in a crowd, you're in the right place. After creating a multiple six-figure-a-year website design business in my 20s, I'm ready to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, branding, website design, mindset, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. Hello, friend. This episode is the short encouragement that maybe you need today, and it's the encouragement that I've needed a lot lately in this season of my business. So we're just going to talk about this. And that encouragement is that it's okay to not be growing your business. It's okay to stay put. It's okay to even quote unquote go backwards from where you were. It's okay to say no to the really good opportunities that come your way. It's okay to make less money than you did last month or last year. It's okay to work less. You don't always have to be growing. There is a serious hustle culture, even within our anti-hustle culture that's way more trendy right now than the hustle culture. But that tells us still, even in that like anti-hustle culture, that you should always be growing. And I feel it. I'd imagine that a lot of you guys listening feel it too, feel that pressure, whether it's from like outside sources or even just like internally feeling that. And I shared a post to my Instagram feed about this a few weeks ago on a week where I was feeling this hard and I like felt the need to like talk about it, and I wrote some words on it. I was feeling the weight of like, I don't need to or necessarily want to be growing a ton right now. That's not what makes sense in my life. And I'll link to that post in the show notes for this episode so you can read all that and like swipe through it and read the comments too if you'd like, or come leave a comment on it. But the first like page of the carousel says, it says that quote, if you're not growing, you're dying. We've all heard that quote, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. And it has dying marked out and instead replaces it to say, if you're not growing, you're probably doing something else wonderful with your time. And it goes on to say some other things. Like I said, it really resonated with a lot of you guys. And maybe you know, as you hear me say that, like, yeah, Elizabeth, it's okay to rest. It's okay to just maintain. But you might still be beating yourself up about it when you choose or kind of are in that season where you like need to choose that, feeling like you should be doing more. But look at what she's doing in her business. Look how nice his business looks right now. I made this amount last year, so of course I need to double it this year. And I just want to remind you that it is okay, and actually more than okay even, it is necessary to have seasons where growth is slower or when you're simply wanting to maintain what you've already built. If we are always on like the hamster wheel of growing our business, there's no end. You know, you hit 500,000, then it's 1 million, then it's 2 million, it's 3, and it's like, where does it end, right? So you don't always have to be chasing the next big win to be successful. So let your business serve the life you want to live instead of ruling your life. And I really want to encourage you as you're listening to this, again, really short episode, I don't have that much more to even say right now, but ask yourself, is my life revolving around growing my business right now? Maybe you've gotten in to that sort of trap where like that's all you think about, that's all you care about. And if so, I would say dig into that, pay attention to that, forgive yourself for that. It's okay. I mean, it's okay for your business to be like the biggest priority in your life in seasons. Like I totally get that too. But I would encourage you to, in any season, not to let your business be like the ruler of your life, of your schedule, of everything you do, of the only thing you care about. Even if you work for many, many years and past that like normal retirement age that so many people do, your business is still not going to be your only legacy. And it's likely not going to be your most important or most impactful legacy. And for most of us doing the type of work we do, you likely aren't going to necessarily be doing this exact same thing in your like 50s and 60s. So just know you can't take it with you forever. So don't make it your everything. I have been in a season of wrestling with this, like I already said. So really that's why it's on my mind so much. And I'm someone who my natural like disposition as a business owner is to always like to be doing the next thing, the next big thing in my mind, my next big idea. And I get about 1,000 new product ideas a day. I'm not kidding. Actually, I'm kidding. That's an exaggeration, 1,000. But I mean, in all seriousness, like 2 or 3 things where I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. That sounds so fun. This would be a great product, a great podcast episode. I'd love to teach on this. That's like my natural disposition. I love teaching. I love creating, and I really love my work. I absolutely adore my business. So don't hear me say, guys, that you shouldn't adore your business and you shouldn't enjoy your work. I truly enjoy being with my business. I think it's amazing, but I also think it's not my everything. And I don't want my life to revolve around this business. I don't want it to be my most important thing and then look back and be like, well, where's the rest of my life when this business disappoints me or when it ends, all of that kind of stuff. So not every season has to be a growth season in our business. And I've had to resist at times lately that urge I'm talking about of like always wanting to do the next thing. And sometimes that shows up as like, I should be doing this. I should want this. I should say yes to this. And instead I've had to be like, should I? What if I don't want that? What if I want to do this? And choosing other things instead. So like choosing at times to, again, bring it back to my personal life right now, to be in the mundane, but absolutely amazing moments of like the little toddler life with Colin. He just turned, as I'm recording this, like about 13 months old. And like, that's a lot of my life right now, is those mundane moments that like, I'm not really necessarily posting on Instagram. Choosing a date night with Adam over work, choosing quiet time with the Lord, choosing to go on a walk when maybe I feel like my workload, there's a lot of stuff to be doing there. Just basically choosing other. And what I want to encourage you in, as you might also be in a season where you're choosing other, it's all growth too. It's growth in different areas of your life besides just your business. So your business can kind of take a step back. Sometimes it doesn't mean your business is going to stop being successful, but it can take a step back. So what does me saying it's okay to not grow right now mean? Just to put some more like even practical ways, I should give some examples in my own life, but it sometimes means things like not working as much as you quote unquote need to instead do something else you enjoy. It means being where your feet are. That's one of my favorite quotes from Jesse Itzler. He says like, be where your feet are. So being present, like letting the business stuff kind of go away, maybe taking some time off social media to be really present with yourself and with your family, with your friends. Taking a laptop-free vacation, taking a laptop-free, little few weeks away for Christmas, like that sort of stuff. Resting during nap time instead of working because your mental health comes first. Again, I know a lot of you listening are in like the younger mom life years where it's like nap time might be like your precious only opportunity to work. I've had so many days like that lately. And sometimes I am choosing resting because that's like what I need in that moment. So another example, saying no to the quote unquote amazing opportunity to put something else amazing first. Don't forget that. If you say no to something for your business, it can be also being replaced with something else amazing. As long as you're aware of your why and you're making these kind of decisions intentionally, like with your purpose, it'll be worth it. It's all growth in a different way. So just to close us here, I want to encourage you that next time you feel guilty, if you feel embarrassed or behind because you can't quote unquote do it all, remember that you don't always have to be growing in your business, and build your business around your life, not your life around your business. I've said that so many times on this podcast lately and in other interviews I've done, because again, this is like such a just song in my head lately of building my business around my life, not my life around your business. So plan for seasons to stay put and enjoy the work you've already put in and focus on other things besides building your business. Again, you didn't build your business so that you could freak out and stress out over hitting that next milestone constantly. You probably built your business so that you can enjoy the fruit of your labor, so to speak, and have breaks, spend time with your family, take time off, take the weekends off, that sort of stuff. So just don't make everything about your business. Know that it is okay to not always be growing. And as we move towards the holidays, if I air this when I'm planning to, it'll air on November 1st. So really starting the 2 months of holiday seasons of hitting Christmas, Thanksgiving before that. Both of these times are two of my absolute favorite holidays. My birthday's at the end of October and was last week. And then I love going into Thanksgiving after that. I absolutely adore Thanksgiving. And then also Christmas time. So as we move towards the holiday season, though, it's a great time to think about this. Like, could you take some extra intentional time off while your kids are home from school and while it's like the cozy winter time and while maybe naturally, depending on what kind of business you do, maybe things are a little bit more shut down at the end of December, or maybe for you, it's more shut down during Thanksgiving, whatever it is. Could you take some extra intentional time off and enjoy your business, enjoy what you've built, and maybe not focus on growing, doing the next thing, and give yourself a much needed break to just enjoy the work you've already done. So that's it. And I hope this was an encouragement maybe you needed today. Let me know on Instagram or send me an email if you'd prefer that, if this was like what you needed to hear. And I hope I was able to explain all that well. It came out the way I meant to. But yeah, I hope this is the encouragement for you that you needed. And this is definitely the encouragement I needed, again, in this just like interesting season of business. And I guess another thing I want to add that I don't even have in my notes is that life and business are so seasonal. Whatever your business looks like and your life looks like right now, or whatever your business has to look like because of your life circumstance, isn't always what it's going to be like. Maybe you won't always be working another job in addition to your business. Maybe your spouse's work won't always have to be the work that comes first. Your kids are going to grow up and need you less and be in a different season. Things are always changing. And I actually just paused my recording because I was reminded of a quote I really loved that I was like, oh, I think that's really relevant to this. And it is. I just was kind of like remembering a little bit off the top of my head. A little quick tip on my notes app, I have a note that's called Quotes I Love, where just whenever I find a quote I love, I type it into here or like take an image of it. And so there's a lot of images in here as well. But this was a quote from Nancy Ray. She has a really awesome podcast called the Work and Play Podcast, if you've never listened to it. And she said this on an episode. I don't know which one, but I just have it in my notes here. So she said, the key to abundant living is following God's lead for your life in the season you're in and knowing the season will change. And when we can joyfully press into the season we're in, then joyfully step out of it and step into the next assignment He has for us, we find abundance. We are right where we are supposed to be. And I hope that resonates with you. That's the key. She says the key to abundant living, following God's lead for the season of life you're in and knowing it will change. So knowing, to kind of just apply back to what we were just talking about, your business might be in a season where you're not focusing on as much, where it's not growing. That doesn't mean it'll always be that way. Step into the season you're in and follow God's leading in your life. And you'll find abundance that way and find joy in your business. So yeah, that's it, friends. I hope this resonates with you. Let me know what you think. And I'll be back next week with another episode, probably a longer one and probably more business related. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this short and sweet one. And I'm excited to hear from you. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode all the way until the end. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this episode, then I want to invite you to check out my website template shop too. Over on elizabethmccravey.com, you'll find show it website templates that are easy to use, strategically designed, and created to help you book more clients and customers. Maybe your current website is really boring. Maybe it's a challenge to update, and maybe even it's that thing that you really feel like is just completely holding your business back. Your website needs to be strategically and intentionally designed in order for it to convert your viewers into raving customers, and that's exactly what my M-Shop templates do. So these are pre-made show it website templates where you can plug and play your content into it with ease and then get started with a website that's designed to actually help you make more money. These templates are designed to be SEO friendly on the back end, and they're not just pretty, but they are very strategic and with all the strategies I teach on this podcast. And best of all, they're easy for you to set up all by yourself. So shop them at elizabethmccravey.com/shop and come join the M-Shop family of hundreds of happy customers. And as an added perk, you can use the code BBPodcast at checkout to get 10% off any template as a thank you for being a part of the podcast family. So that's BB Podcast for 10% off any template over at elizabethmccravey.com. And if you love this podcast, don't forget that you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts so that you never miss an episode, and leave a rating and review for the show wherever you're listening. Share it with a friend, share it on Instagram or Facebook. That's a great way to support the podcast and get the word out. All right, I'll be back next week with another new episode.